Is that guy good? Is he alright? Is copy pasting the channel rules with a random string of numbers increasing at the end each time? I would assume a bot, but I don't know. Hope you're well, pal. Hope you're well. You never know, because every now and then I get like one person a month who like freaks out and shits themselves over my rules. They're like, what even is a vibe check ban? What does that mean? So you can do whatever you want? And I'm like, yeah. Yeah. That is exactly the point. What? Like, you know? It's as simple. I mean, it's just a nice way of saying, like, if we just don't like you, we don't have any, you didn't break any rules, we just don't like you, we can just say you gotta get vibe checked. Right? And it's not that we won't try to be tolerant of people if their vibes don't exactly match. But if their vibes are so off that everyone just can't get along with them, it's just weird, then we gotta do what we gotta do. That's all. But I do get the occasional person freaking out when they read that and they're like, what does that mean? And I'm like, it's the catch-all, you know? We don't really vibe check ban that many people. It's really not that often. I think people read it and they just freak out because they don't like to be reminded of it. I think that's really all it is. No. No, the title isn't about a past experience. The title is what we're gonna do today. That's all. They want to know specifically what they can't do. Yeah, I think it's a mix of two things. Here's what I think it is. One group I get, one group I don't get. The one I don't get, it's people that are looking for the line so they can toe it. Because they want to do something that, you know, doesn't usually jive too well, and they know they're going to do something that's like a little off, but they want to be able to act that way or whatever it is, right? And then they see a catch-all rule and they're like, oh shit, so I can't be my normal, like, little shitter self, right? Like, pushing the line constantly. I need to know where the line is so I know how to be a rules lawyer and get myself out of trouble, right? There are people like that. That's some of them. I think the other camp is one that I do completely understand. There are people who straight up are like, I don't like rules that aren't extremely definitive because I am neurodivergent. And that I completely understand. But the thing is, if someone just says that, right? Like, let's say they get, like, timed out and they're like, hey, what did I do wrong? If they're just like, yo, I'm a little neurodivergent, I don't get it, they can just talk to Ahmad and Ahmad will nicely explain it with no issue, you know? Like, that we do have a lot of tolerance for, so it's not really an actual problem, right? And usually those people, like, aren't the issue. Like, the undefined rule makes them nervous, but they're usually not the ones that get caught by those rules. It happens here and there, but, like, people just get reminded, you know, they're usually fine. And if they're open and honest about that and they're like, I don't get some social stuff, just tell me, please, you know, like, we're cool, we're really Honestly, like, very chill with that. That's fine. Those people aren't the problem. It's more the intent, the ones who are intending to be awful, you know? So sometimes the complainers are the ones who are like the rule's not going to catch them because they're not actually going to be an issue, you know?
I wasn't backseating, I was asking a leading question about a secret around the next corner. It's totally different. Ragey.
Oh, man. Yeah, there's so much of that. Everyone's got their own definition of backseating, and a lot of those definitions are, like, nowhere near what we define it as here. You'll walk up, and they'll be like, oh, might want to have a blunt weapon out for the next part. And you're like, yo, don't backseat. And they're like, what? I didn't tell you what happens in the next part. I just told you what weapon to have out so you don't get to figure anything out in the gameplay. Right? Like, there's so many of those, man. Oh, get it. Oh, yeah, have they done blank yet? There are people who will be like, I was asking chat, not the streamer, so it's fine. There are people that's the funniest one to me. Is when they go to the chat and they go, has she seen the uncle yet? Or whatever the fuck is gonna show up in the game. Has she seen the horse yet? And you're like, dude, don't say that. And they're like, I wasn't saying it to her. What? Oh, I read my chat. That's my chat. You typed it in my chat. That shit's always like... Man. Yeah, you said have they done blanket is the worst. No, people always do that one. That is the most common, like, stealth backseating where they try to argue that they're not. It's the have they done blank yet chatters. You see it all the time. Did she get up to the part where your dad dies yet? Or they try to hide it and they're like, did she see the death scene yet? Not telling who. And then they're like two characters and one of them has said really sus shit that's like death flags and you're like, brother. Oh my god. Oh my god. Holy. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. Oh, I got here at the right time. Or when they go, this part. That one's always funny. Or yeah, saying like, how far has she gotten is a really easy way to do it. Or just be like, what have we seen so far? Yo, can someone recap where we're up to? Like, that shit is just such a nice way to ask it, and then the chat will gladly tell you, you know? It's a chat full of people that are invested in what's going on the screen, right? I don't know. Huh. This chatter came in and said, wait, where are you? I lost it. Oh, did she actually started streaming yet? I only see a cooking meat right now. No, I'm not streaming. I'm not. You said I'm guilty of saying, oh, this part. Yeah, try to hold it back until the thing starts happening. Like, if the thing is happening, and the streamer's like, oh god, it's getting weird. Oh no, and then like a thing appears, you can be like, haha, this part. Like, if you do it at that point, you're fine, because you haven't spoiled anything for them. But when you do it like beforehand, like they're just in normal gameplay, and there's nothing fully cluing them in that this is some sort of part yet, you know? Just don't say it at that point, right? Because a lot of the time when chatters say that, in my experience, when go here now, A lot of the time when a chatter has typed like, oh, this part or something, I'm in a part of gameplay where I have had no indications that something's about to happen. Right? Like, there will be things kind of cluing me in that, oh, there's something at the end of the hall, but I don't know that a cutscene's gonna occur. It could just be another room and I continue down another hallway and it just has like one little Easter egg item sitting there that's interesting to look at. You know, like, I don't really know what it's gonna be. And constantly chatters will, like, while I'm in that mundane bit of gameplay where I like don't know what's going on or anything, and that's when they'll be like, oh, this part, and I'm like, or the worst is they're like, you should save. I hate that one. You should save. They're number one, they're backseating. They're just telling you what to do straight up, right? But number two, they're implying that there's about to be like a boss fight or something. And I'm like, what? Shut up! You know, you should save. Like, you should sit there and watch, right? It's funnier if they like get beat up and then they have to go back a bit. You know? Yeah, the save now thing is the worst. Yeah. I say, oh, this part are the most boring parts to subvert expectations. I love this hallway. This is my favorite hallway in the game. Yep. Me in an art stream. You should save. Save now. Games usually telegraph so hard anyway. Yeah, but sometimes they actually don't. You know what usually does it? Someone mentioned it, the autosave. You're walking up somewhere. There's nothing that like lets you save normally in the area or anything. It's just not a game with items like that. But then you go up to a door and right before the door it says autosaving. And you're like, oh, okay, right? That usually clues you in. And that's annoying. You know how like a lot of people are like, I hate when games do that. I hate that so much because it clues me in. Now imagine if you had chatters saying it to you when the game didn't even spoil it for you, right? You have people going, you should, but they're not. It's not even like the game is saving for you. It's them telling you should do a thing, right? It's so annoying. Yeah, I like invisible autosave too. I think it's the best. That's how it should be. It really should be like that. Surprise boss in the hallway, not a giant ass room. Yeah. I am so bad at backseating by accident. I know I can't help it, except by not chatting during gameplay. Yeah, I limit myself to emotes. If I feel the urge to backseat, I just start using emotes, but not really like typing words, you know, because I find like as I type words, it you know, I get you. Like, it's there. So you can sit there and proofread and all that, but then like so much is happening on the screen by that time that you're finished proofreading what you're gonna say. So yeah, I just emote. And that's it. That's it. Yeah, you said in reactions on YouTube, I keep seeing that. Any villain is introduced in the comment section is full of people going, oh my god, there they are, I love them. Yes. It'll be a clip early on, you like don't know that they're the bad guy yet. And then people are like, oh my god, there he is. He's so crazy. And you're like, what? Oh. That's just... That one's tough. That one's tough. Yeah. He said, I just watch people play games, so I got no good advice for it. Good. The world is better this way. It is better. So I realized I forgot to click a button. Hold on. I forgot to turn on V-Bridger. Do I care right now? Do I care? It doesn't do that much for me. It just lets me, like, chew with my mouth closed. Ready? That's how it looks without V-Bridger. Whatever. I'll leave it off. My model was definitely lagging a bit yesterday while playing Rust. Because it just does that. It's just one of those games. So I figure Chibi model might be a little easier for that. Maybe. Maybe. How far have I made it through Silk Song? I stopped right where I was on stream because I want to pick it back up at some point. But I wanted to wait a bit. But it's a game I don't mind waiting on. So I wanted to wait and then come back to it later. Only issue, the thing that's making me maybe not want to stream it, but maybe yes, is just the backseaters get worse over time, right? Like if you stream it right when it drops, a lot of people don't know what happens yet or don't know how to do every fight yet. So that's good. When you stream a game like that later, everyone comes in, they're like, you should do this, you should do that. So that could be annoying. That could be annoying. So I think maybe we try again when I feel like picking it back up. And if I get a lot of annoying backseaters, I just stop and I play something else and I just play it off stream. You know? Holiday backseaters are some of the worst. I've had friends tell me, that's why I didn't play the first one on stream. I was going to, and then I had friends who had done that, and they were like, no, one of the worst backseating experiences I've ever had. And I was like, really? That bad? And I went in some of their chats while they were playing and saw it, and I was like, holy. So no thanks. All you've heard about is how much harder it is than the first. I mean, don't people want challenges? Like, if I feel like I'm bad at a game, I'm like, yay, there's something to do, right? Whereas if I feel like I'm like really, really good at the game and I just breeze through it, that's cool. But that game is not one where I feel like you would get much out of it if it was easy. It wouldn't be that good if it was easy, in my opinion. So, you know, I don't know. It should be busted, I think. I feel like your mods are way more than capable to deal with that. It's not about whether they can or can't. It's number one, do I want to put them through it at all? Do I want to put me through it at all? You know? That's the first thing, is like, do we even want to deal with it? Because I could just play anything else, right? But then, number two, is it... I don't know. It's like... it's just one of those things where I don't have nice things to say to people when they can't stop backseating after being asked or whatever. They can't follow rule after being asked. So then I spend so much time on stream just sitting there, like, berating them. And I'm like, do I want to do that? I could just, like, not look at the chat. But that sucks, too. I know myself, right? Like, I'm gonna, like, flame those people. And even if I make it funny, it still just ends up being, like, a lot of time spent on that. And I don't know how much people want to see that. You know what I mean? So, that's the other consideration for me. You know what I mean? Yeah, I look at chat all the time. I interact with chat all the time. I'm constantly reading chat. I'm not a streamer that really, like, looks away and doesn't look at chat much. For some games, if I'm locking in, I might not look at the chat for, like, a minute. But I glance back all the time. I would rather glance at chat here and there than lock in and not talk for 5 minutes and just get through a fight. You know? Like, it's a stream. You would watch a video of someone speedrunning if you cared about that, right? So I just kind of, like, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like it's, like, the antithesis of the way I stream. If I just, like, be like, oh, mods can handle it, and I'll just ignore the backseaters and not address it, because that's, like, we always address it here. Because it's funny. Because it's funny. But when it's a lot, it's too much. I feel. Right? So the difficulty spike, especially after the early game nerfs, have been overblown. Probably. Like, girl DM's backseat tax. Yeah. I think I like the idea of it, but the thing is, then you get people who actually pay just to be annoying, and I'm just like, meh. Yeah, I talked about that. Moose Co tweeted that he didn't want to. He had a really like reasonable tweet. It was worded nicely, and he just tweeted like right when Silk Song came out. He was like, "No, I won't be streaming it," because tons of people, like everyone, was asking, "Co, are you going to stream this?" Right? His chat was filled with people asking it. People on Twitter, on YouTube, whatever. So he just tweeted and was like, "No, I'm not going to be playing it on release. Uh, just not really into the game. I picked it up and played a little bit, and I wasn't feeling it. So, you know, it just, and all he said, he didn't even say it was a bad game. He was just like, honestly, it just feels like it's more of the first game. So if it's not doing something like incredibly new, I'm good for now." That's it, right? Really reasonable take. And then people were like so upset in the replies. So upset. And they were trying to give him 1,000,001 reasons why he's wrong. Why they're like, you only played a little bit, you need to play more to really know. And I'm like, brother, first of all, he was right. He was right. Okay. It is the first game again with just some more, which is great. People love the first game. Nothing wrong with that. But then he explained later, he's like, look, I just don't want a Metroidvania right now. I'm just kind of burnt out on them. There have been a lot. I've played a lot of them, and I'm not really into the genre right now. I just don't want it. And people were like freaking out. I felt so bad because it's Ko. Ko is like one of the most reasonable, normal, nice people. A very normal person on the platform, you know? It was crazy. Yeah, Ko is usually someone with good takes, or if it's a just for him take and you don't agree with it, he's very clear, like, this is just me. Right? Super nice dude, man. Super nice dude. So I felt bad seeing his tweet, seeing people like replying so angrily to him. I was like, dude, he's just living his life, man. He's just chilling. I don't know. The problems of being famous. It's just the internet in general. If like you say something and people don't agree with you, they have no ability to realize, to understand, to act like this is the real world, and you don't have to agree with everyone, and they don't have to agree with you. Not everything is an attack. People aren't. It's basic logic. If I say I like apples, I'm not saying I hate bananas, right? It's the pancakes and waffles thing. People are literally unable to understand that while typing. And if you say it to them, this means this, it doesn't mean that, they will go, yes, I get that. But then when you put it in practice, they're unable to act like that with the world. They can't interact with the world in that way, you know? Which is crazy. Absolute crazy. I don't know. You've seen people go feral on others for saying they like Starfield. I've seen that. Yep. I like, and the thing is, like, for me, there are plenty of games that come out that are new that I really like. And when I do that, people are like, oh, you're just playing the flavor of the month. Oh, you just like it because it's popular, right? Not that I get a lot of comments like that, but that's the sort of comments people tend to get, right? And then if I say I don't like it, oh, you're so contrarian. You want to be so different, right? Like, oh, you just want to be different. So I'll be like, I don't like Undertale. I don't like mouthwashing. Oh, you want to be so different. But then I'm like, actually, I really liked, you know, whatever Call of Duty game just came out. I actually liked it. Actually, I really liked Flavor of the Month game number 7. Oh, you're just like everyone else, right? It's just like, I really like Balatro. Oh, so does fucking everybody. Right? You just can't, man. You just can't. Yeah, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Always. Yeah. It gets called a normie answer a lot. All the time. I noticed this. So I used to not stream new releases of like new games very often. I would just stream like nostalgic stuff, like GameCube era stuff, or little indie games. And I kind of just focused on that for like my first year-ish of streaming. Um, and I never tried to make this happen. I just was streaming stuff I felt like streaming. I ended up having a pretty big pocket of people in my community at that time that were like here because they thought it was so different, right? I like it here because she plays things that I like, which was nostalgic games, indie games, right? I like it here because she plays those things. And it feels like different because I'm so used to like other streamers playing all the new releases and I'm tired of that, right? Saying it like that is fine. But then when I was like, I want to play this new game that came out, it's a new release, and then I would load it up, that pocket of people would suddenly become the most insufferable people. And most of them, not all, most of them would suddenly be like, oh, you've changed. You're only doing this because it's popular. Something, something. Oh, she's different. She used to play cool stuff. Now she has bad taste. Like that's the kind of stuff there were people straight up saying it in Discord, like typing it with their whole chest. And I was like, where do you think you are? Oh, that shit was crazy to deal with. Even now, occasionally, there will be someone who will be like, this happens in some of my friends' Discords. I used to watch her streams, but I don't anymore because her content changed so much. She's just not the same person. I'm the same exact person. I got through my backlog of like old games that I wanted to replay. And that was it. You know, I was like, I want to replay Pikmin 1 and 2 and 3. I want to replay Wind Waker. You know, I had like a couple older games I wanted to replay, and like Sunshine, they were there for like that era, and they thought that that was like gonna be forever or something. Or I don't know. It was just one of those things where I was like, I think I get where this comes from, but I can't relate at all. Like, I love these things too, and I'll bring them back. I just like, I don't know. I don't know. Big complainers. It's okay to bounce if that's like what you want, though. Like, you know, I'm not gonna shit on people having a preference. That's okay. It's just like what they say about it and the way they act about it. If they act like a big baby and they act entitled, then I'm like, dude, just like, it's the onus is on you to go somewhere else, you know? It's weird. It's weird. She changed when she became the Giggler. It's different. Mike has this issue with his community. Lots of viewers leave if he plays any game. Yeah, he has a big issue with it. Also with like which games he plays or if he's collabing. He's got a chat that loves him and wants his attention. It's us and Mike, right? That's his chat. And if he hops on a server and is like playing and talking to a bunch of people and not talking to chat as much, people leave. They just leave. They're like, I'm not getting my, you know, interaction, attention that I'm here for. Which honestly, I think if that's just how you feel and you leave, that's okay. As long as you're not like being a little bitch about it and like complaining everywhere. You know what I mean? Like telling the streamer that they can't do that. I think having those like feelings is not really a problem, you know? It's just it's the complaint corner and the peanut gallery that like forms because of it that can get like annoying. As long as they don't do that, then like it's whatever. You know, you're there to watch what you want to watch, and that's valid. Right? It's super valid. But yeah, it's the way they go about it, man. Yeah, he said sometimes people go on a streak of content that's in line with their likes, so they watch them constantly and then they move on. And the person feels like they changed, or sometimes the person itself changes, but the content was the same. Yeah, like nothing really changed about the person. They're just like, oh, I'm into this right now. Right? Take GTA. Loved variety streaming. Never didn't love it. Got really into GTA, and I was like, I want to do this for a while. I was aware that some people like would not like it. That's okay. I wanted to do it. There were some people that bounced. There were a lot of people that came in. And then I knew in my heart of hearts, so like at some point I'm just gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna just do full variety again instead of like balancing the two. I just want to do only variety and like no GTA on the channel anymore. And I knew when I did that, there were gonna be people that are gonna be like, you've changed, and would leave because, you know, they were just there for that game, right? And that's okay. That's all right. And honestly, you know what I got when I stopped streaming GTA, I didn't get people complaining that I stopped. There were people that would say very nicely, they'd be like, yeah, it's sad, I wish you would. But a lot of them stuck by. Some of them didn't, that's okay, right? But the ones that liked variety and didn't like GTA were half and half. Some very nice and normal about it. And some like really fucking annoying. They were like, the thing is like, I didn't mind people saying, oh, I don't like this content, so I don't want to watch it. I'd be like, that's totally fine. That's okay, right? That's just an opinion. That's all right. You don't have to say it in chat, but like, if that's why, all good. But then there would be people that would be like, you hate everything else. You hate it. You hate talking to chat, which is crazy because I talk to chat like most of the time while we were still playing GTA. Or they'd be like, you you just don't like variety. You don't like your friends anymore. like that kind of stuff. And I was like, what? That was the part that was weird. I was like, yeah, you eat babies, you killed people. I'm like, I don't, I'm just playing a video game. What? Oh, I don't know. I didn't mind people having differing opinions no matter what. Like, I always go on arcs. I sat there and played nothing but Breath of the Wild for months. Remember that? We did these long-ass Breath of the Wild arcs where I did a normal one. I did a master mode playthrough. I did all the DLC, right? It's fine. It's fine. But it's like extrapolating things about like my social life off of it, or my likes and dislikes, like being like, this changes everything. I'm like, brother, since the dawn of my streaming, I would say stuff like, oh, I love MMOs, I love Eve, I love server-based stuff, right? I don't know. They didn't say it during Bounce SMP, but when I was on Bounce, I just did nothing but play that for like 2 months, I think. At least a month. I just played Bounce every day and was on a server talking to other people most of the time. You know what I mean? So, it's just complainers. The snare opinion brought me on the brink. How can my Kamiyoshi streamer just like the look of my niche food? The snare. She doesn't like the snare. I can't handle these. The snare. I don't know. Yeah, you said the way I went back to variety was like clean, sequestered to a different channel. Yeah. Basically, I wanted to be playing it really actively through like the heist crew stuff, because I really wanted to do all the bank heists. That was fun. So I played very actively and a lot during that. And then I think like June, July last year was when we did the art asylum and we heisted it, and I wasn't sure if we were gonna like keep heisting or not, and it kind of like slowly fell off, and I was like, okay, I think we're not gonna do this anymore. Now we've kind of fallen into just doing the same heists over and over. And that's when they kind of announced, or I learned, they were like, yeah, we're not really gonna be updating the server now, and we're not really going to be like adding more heists and more crimes to do and all these things because we're working on 5.0. And I was like, okay, then I'll just see ya, you know? So I spent like some time getting things on track, and then like we hit August and I was like, okay, bye. You know, like I'm still going to play this as a hobby a lot, but I'm not putting it on my main channel. It's not like content like that anymore, you know? That's fine. That's what I did. So yeah, I did like a hard cutoff and was just like, okay, we're gonna do only variety here, and then I moved it to the alt. That's the way. 5.0 soon? No, please, no, not yet. I don't want 5.0 yet. I don't want 5.0 yet. I want more time, personally. I think like it'll be nice when it happens. I'm really hoping that the way it runs, I can close GTA and be able to swap to variety without having it cut my VOD in half. If it starts doing that, I'll find ways around it, or I'll pick days that are just not GTA for sure. We'll see. But yeah, I'm really trying to make sure that it's like balanced as best I can. Will 5.0 be GTA 5? Yeah, for sure. Would you stay as GG? Probably. I want to play more COP. COP is fun. Hopefully Red M's better about that too. I don't know. I don't know. I have to see if they'll accept me to ranch. I applied to ranch. I sent in the application and it said I was 8th in queue. And now if I go to the application page, it's just the application again. It doesn't give me like a queue or anything. So I can't tell if that means it's just like they got to it and I'm going to get contacted, or if I got rejected and they didn't say it. I don't know what it means. It's just like the open form again, instead of like a closed form being like, thank you for your application, you're whatever in queue. But there's no indication that I like did or did not get accepted. So I don't know. I don't know. That's less of a big deal to me though. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Spam them. No, I don't want to be annoying. Well, there's also the chance, so you have to have your DMs open to them. And I might not have had mine open, I think, with my, like, settings. So I set it so that that server I can get DM'd from. Or they can send requests for it, at least. So that might factor in. We'll see. Ranch, GG getting to know more about hunting than most of the server. You know, I know nothing about Red Dead. I haven't even played the base game. It really makes me want to play the base game. I want to play Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm worried that I would get sidetracked and I would end up doing like a 200-hour playthrough, you know, because there's so much side shit to do. So I should probably just play through and do the main game, and it shouldn't be too long. It'd be a bit long, but not crazy. But if I do the side stuff, I feel like it's so many hours, right? It's a big game, yeah. Side quests are really good. That's the problem. They are really good. Everyone keeps saying they're really good, and I wanna go through it. I wanna go and play Red Dead 2. I don't know. I love like any like Western kind of thing. But mainlined it still took like 45 hours. Yeah, I'd probably have to spend a month just playing that. Honestly. Not engaging with the side stuff will rob the experience. Yeah, maybe I should see if I can get like a list of the ones worth doing, so I know which tracks we should like really go through. And I don't mind off stream playing some and just getting through it like head empty, but I don't know. We'll see. Get to top 10 side quests. Yeah. I also just want to explore the map, explore the world, run around, and there's just not time to do that on stream sometimes. Which kind of sucks. There are a lot of games, like actually Mafia, the old country. I wanted to go back into it. I wanted to go through it and do the thing, right? I wanted to go through and see what's in the area. I know there are some things you can do without being like mainlining only the main story stuff. So I don't know. I'm gonna try it. Yeah, you said you like exploring areas, but then you end up picking up all the side quests and getting bogged down. I do that in every game. Every game. Yeah, Joel. The thing is, Joel, with Breath of the Wild, I feel like... How do I say this? Breath of the Wild was really good in that... And Tears of the Kingdom too. In that the side quests were really well sequestered to their area. Right? So you go into a town, and they're like, okay, here's stuff to do in this town. And it felt like you were really fleshing out the story of that area. But then there are other games where it feels like the side quests just bounce you all over the map, and they feel like unrelated to each other in that town. They don't really do much to do world building between characters, like explaining their relationships or stuff. It's just like these random ass quests, and it's just too much. It's too much. So I kind of like the way Breath of the Wild did it. I also felt like while it was a longer game, it didn't take me that long to go through the side quests. It wasn't really that crazy. You said I hated Breath of the Wild. It was a decent game, but not a good Zelda game. Yeah, I really liked it. I loved Breath of the Wild, and I loved Tears of the Kingdom. But I'm not gonna be like, oh, they're better than Majora's Mask. You know, like I do want linear Zelda. I do. I like both though, and I'm okay if they keep doing both, and they just have it like as a type of Zelda game, right? The same way we have Zelda games that are good ones and they're like top down. We have good ones and they're 3D and linear. Then we have some good ones that are in this open world style, right? Like have it be like a separate thing. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. Oh, Oracles. Yeah. Those are my favorite. I liked Seasons a lot. So I love Tears of the Kingdom. I know everyone hates it. Or everyone you know hates it. A lot of my friends liked it. They thought it was better than Breath of the Wild. They were like, why even release Breath of the Wild? It should have just been this one. I thought it was really good. Breath of the Wild was good, but it had some stuff in it that was shit overall. I thought Tears of the Kingdom was the better game, honestly. I think I didn't really care about the gimmicks of like building stuff. I thought Ultra Hand to like pick things up and move it around for puzzles was really good. I didn't care to make contraptions. You know? I was okay with just like it being open world in the, yeah, like you do things in whatever order you want kind of thing. I honestly think what they should have done with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, keep the game as is. Let you run around and do side questing as much as you want, whatever. But still have certain areas be unlocked in a linear way. Because Majora's Mask was like this, right? You could go and do things in any order. You could go to any part of the world once you know how to get there if you collected items to get there, right? So just do the same thing. Make it with Tears of the Kingdom. You can't get to certain areas until you have certain items. Which means, yes, there is an order you have to do certain temples in or certain areas, right? Oh, I can't get to this underwater place because I can't dive underwater for long enough. Maybe I should go to the Zora area and do whatever quest line is there first, right? So they could have kept the game as it was, feeling really open world, but then still having a bit of a linear thing going on with like what area you have to do before the others. I think if they just did that, it would have been better. Honestly. It would have been better. Right? I think if they did it that way, game would have been perfect. As is. They could have done more with the story that way too, to keep it in line. Sounds like Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild did it like that in phases. So I think what they should have done is, yes, you have your opening area. Then you get out there and they're like, oh, do one of the 4 areas, right? The 4 divine beasts. They should have had an order for the divine beasts. And they should have had items that you get or things you unlock or whatever when you do like the first one that you then need for the second one, need for the third, need for the fourth. Instead of you being able to do those in any order. And then there's like this end game phase after that where you go to the castle, right? I think if they just put those in a singular line, but let you go around to the different areas and do things in what order you want outside of the main quests, that would have been fine. That would have been all right. I think they should have done that. And then have the areas that are not parts of the divine beasts be like the out of order stuff. Right? That's what I thought, at least. I think that would have been better. I think the thing I didn't like was in Tears of the Kingdom, there were those, you would get these like teardrops and you would look and there's like a thing on the ground and you would regain a memory. And you could regain all of those out of order except for a chunk of them at the end. They were like, oh, these like last 2 or whatever it was, you can only get after getting the other ones. They should have just made you get them all in order. They could have sent you on a linear path to get each of those in order, drop the story to you in order with the cutscenes, but then they could have written more of the character dialogue to also make sense with that order. They should have just done that. Like, I don't know why they didn't. You know? You like the out of order nature motivated you so hard to get them all? Yeah, I think they could have maybe done them in more batches if you liked that. But I think those should have been in order, and then that way the other stuff could be out of order, or vice versa. Maybe the memories stay out of order, but then the tasks that you do are in order for what temples and things, right? Like, it's one of those things should have been linear, is how I felt. kind of didn't care which. I just wanted them to be able to write more dialogue for characters that made sense and progressed as you go through. I know this is a lot more writing, but I like in a game when there's a town, everyone has dialogue, and then you do one major quest, and then you go back, and everyone's dialogue is updated to reflect that they have been aware of that thing changing, right? But then when you have open world games, a lot of the time they do less of that, and it feels less like those people are in the story with you. It just feels like you're in a sandbox, right? That's what I don't like. You know? Like the Tears of the Kingdom had more towns, but I still wanted more places with people. Yeah, I felt like there were so few NPCs living in each area, and I would have liked a bit more of a big main town. I would have liked a bigger, like, rebuilt, semi-rebuilt Hyrule Castle town where they're working on it, and they have, like, a lot of people living there, and it feels a bit more like a city. Stuff like that. I don't know. Instead of reading the diary entries, we could be doing stuff to receive the information instead of letting the player play more. Right. You would go and read. You would go read her diary in the attic, and you'd be like, "Oh, she's liking Link more over time." They could have made that actual scenes with interactions and stuff. Instead, you just read her diary about it, and then at some point she's like, "Oh no, don't read my diary. That's so crazy." But you never get to see those characters develop next to each other, right? I think that's where they missed. That's where they missed. Ocarina of Time, Castletown still feels busy. Yeah, it realistically didn't have that much in it, but it was just like the people were very present. It was the physical design of it as well. Yeah, I agree, Garrick. The dungeons, like, so I liked the divine beasts, the idea of it, but them all having the same visual aesthetic on the inside and the bosses being really similar felt so not worth it. I would have been cool with it if you had like a boss for that area, and then you also faced like the piece of Ganon, you know, Calamity Ganon, that was like that element. That would have been really cool. But I feel like there should have been like an entire like Zora dungeon to do before or after the Divine Beast, right? I don't know. There just wasn't really much like, the thing is that the areas were designed really beautifully. They were all unique, and then they just didn't apply that to the actual dungeons you did. It was all in the town. And that kind of felt like shit. I think that's what I didn't like. I don't know. I miss Wind Waker. Wind Waker was the best one. I loved Wind Waker. We need more of that, please. Yeah, it's an interesting idea, but Divine Beast didn't scratch the dungeon itch. Yeah, I think the problem was, too, that you're moving through the same area over and over, and you're affecting it differently. But it felt like you're figuring out one big puzzle instead of, like, doing a dungeon and progressing through an area. It just lacked that, right? Oh, they consider the trek to get to the Divine Beast part of the experience. Yeah. I mean, I feel like that made... Well, the problem is you could cheese it, right? So the Zora area, when you're walking through and you're reading the plaques as you get up to Zora's domain and all of that, like, yeah, that's part of the experience. Sidon is, like, swimming next to you the whole time. Yeah, that's part of the experience. I get that with that one. But fucking, when I got to, like, the Goron area, I was just, like, climbing physically up the mountain. I didn't really, like, do much of the on-the-way experience, you know? Or, like, the, when I got to the desert, I just went to the highest point and just kind of, like, flew in, you know? Like, there wasn't really much struggle for me to get there. So if they just didn't let you cheese it so much, if you had to stay on the ground and actually move through an area and you could not climb into the area yet, they could have used weather effects in Fog of War, right? Like how they make you go through the Lost Woods and you have to go through the Lost Woods, you have to do the thing to get into the place. Do something like that for every area. The desert, make it like the Lost Woods, right? You have to go through the desert. It's not clear yet. Zora's Domain. Oh, it's raining too hard. You can't go in this area yet. You have to walk through this thing. Right? There's a lot that just, like, I don't know. They could have done differently pretty easily with the same map, right? Yeah, I agree, Garrick. That's what I was saying. Like with Majora's Mask being essentially kind of designed like an open world game, but then you were still locked out of going to certain areas based off of what items you had. That was great. They could have just done that and given you more like unique items, a unique get for each area. What I wanted was for them to have, like, let's say a water temple that you go in and then you get a hook shot, let's say. And then you use the hook shot in the Divine Beast in that area. Right? That's what they should have done. They should have done it just like that. Where each area had a temple with a thing that you get, and then you could do the Divine Beast. But that's a lot of content. It's a lot of content. Tears of the Kingdom's desert was a huge improvement, adding the dense sandstorm and Gibdo. Yeah, they made it better. They made it better. They did. But I don't know. I just think, like, they could have done more. Yeah, you get the bow and arrow and the boss has a giant eye. Yeah. Yep. It's all the other Zeldas. That's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah. They would take the existing game, just gate some stuff, put you in a little bit more of a linear order, and there you go. Maybe you even design the Divine Beast so that their order doesn't matter. You just need, like, 2 items to get through an area. So maybe you can hook shot up to a thing. Maybe you can hold the leaf and float down to a thing, like a glider, right? Like, maybe they make it so that you just need, like, 2 of these unique items gotten from whatever to get through here. It could be done. It could be done. But yeah, all the items were optional, so I don't know. There are really good ways to do open world games and ways that are okay. I feel like no matter how much I enjoyed my experience, like, I would go back and be like, yeah, let's just make this shit linear. At least Breath of the Wild didn't have a tutorial. Yeah, I mean, they had Tutorial Plateau, Tutorial Island. Kind of same thing. They kind of did, kind of, sort of. How old were y'all when you realized you can attach the oh, the Octorok balloons? Yeah. Yeah. We all learn things sometimes. I don't know. I tried to go through Tears of the Kingdom making as few contraptions as possible. That's what I tried to do. And I had a really good time with it because I used my horse to go everywhere. I didn't cheese through many areas. I used as few powers as possible, and honestly, it was really fun like that. You've never played a single Zelda game? Where's the best place to start? Any of them. I think Wind Waker, personally. The remade version cuts out some of the excess travel in it. I think that's the best one to start with, and then you go back and play. I think the 2D, if you like 2D top-down games, I would play A Link to the Past, personally. A lot of people saying Ocarina of Time. I think Ocarina of Time was, like, it's a good first experience for people. I don't actually think it's a good Zelda game that much. I think it's a great experience. It's not very much of a good game. I think you should play Majora's Mask, A Link to the Past, Wind Waker, yeah, Link's Awakening. Minish Cap was insanely good. I would actually start with Wind Waker because that game is so charming. So charming. And I feel like it gives you, like, it gives you a really good feeling of the original tale of Hyrule and some of the older bits of lore. You don't need important lore, though. You can play all the games separately. But games that do a good job of explaining, like, the lore that kind of, like, sort of recurs in each game, I think those are good ones to start with.
Do your Wind Waker is the best Zelda game because it has both Ganondorf and Tingle faction redeems chat.
I think my hot take is that Wind Waker had the best Ganondorf. That's how I feel on that. I think he was the best one. Because he was like a real guy. He was a wizard. Which is the way Ganondorf is supposed to be. he was a wizard and he was really like, he was a bad dude, and then he slowly becomes more and more of like Ganon a bit. He's just a madman. He's a dude going mad by his own shit, right? Which is the way Ganondorf is in like every game. Hot take, I think the Tears of the Kingdom one was actually a really good version of that as well. I think the best two Ganondorfs were those two. I think the Wind Waker one is like the best one character-wise. I think they did such a good job of showing in Tears of the Kingdom Ganondorf being like a real normal dude who then became not normal. Right? The problem was just that it was through like flashback cutscenes instead of like real-time shit so much. But I think they did such a good job with him in Tears of the Kingdom, and that was probably the thing that made me like the game the most, was just him. Honestly. Yeah, the Twilight Princess one is a great aura. He does. I also like honestly Ocarina of Time. That's Majora's Mask's one folly. Its one fault is that it doesn't have like standard Ganondorf, but that's not really a problem because of what the game's about. You know? Used to like the Twilight Princess one. Yeah, yeah. Me too. The cutscene on Grave Timer sees you through the window. Oh my god, there's this one meme. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. It's the, can you see the man with the evil eyes? So you know you look through the window in Ocarina of Time, and it's like the first time you see Ganondorf, and she's like, Zelda's like, do you see the man with the evil eyes? This one's, it's just so stupid, but I just always think of this. It's cute. Do you see the man with the evil eyes? There are so many versions of this where they just draw stupid eyes on one of the guards. Do you see him? It's so good. Can you see him with the evil eyes? Said, are you and Mouse doing the Bloodborne marathon together? No. That's her marathon. That's her thing. Oh, it's so good. That's so good. I really love, I mean... Tears of the Kingdom Ganondorf is like unmatched though. This guy was so fucking cool. He was a bad guy. He was a bad guy, and I loved this guy. Like, the thing is, they showed the struggle. They showed him going between like winning and losing and how he gained power and climbed up to it, which I think was something that a lot of the games didn't really like show. They were just like, this dude already did this thing. He's already super powerful. Go stop him, right? Whereas in that game, they focused more on him. This is him when he's realizing he's winning. the laugh when he's like, ah, and he's just like all teeth out. Crazy. Crazy. Oh, I love this scene. And the thing is, he never looks like that otherwise, right? He never does that. He's so happy. He's so happy. I don't know. I love Ganondorf. He's one of my most favorite villains because I just like a lot of the imaginations they have of him. But, yeah, the big old wizard version of him, great. The fact that he turns into evil, malevolent pig energy every time, great. Boris looks up to him greatly. He looks up to him. He hates for the love of the game. Well, I mean, there's all the deep lore, right? And the deep lore is like, he's a guy, right? Normal dude. But then he has this spirit sort of thing in him, this energy in him that turns him into a worse and worse guy. And he goes from being a guy who's just kind of bad to being like just straight up malevolent energy every time. That's it, right? Yeah, it's the whole demise storyline and all that shit. He's just destined to be pure evil after a while. It's not even like a bad guy anymore. Yeah, he's a conduit, right? He's like a host body for it. And I like that. I like that because then it's a good excuse for a guy to just be evil instead of some normal man character just being like, oh, I've decided I am evil now. I'm blowing up the world, you know? So I think it's good. I think it's good. You like Hyrule Warriors, Ganondorf? Oh, I need to replay it. I want to replay it now that I have a Switch 2 and the game can run. I'm so happy because the game can actually run. It's gonna be so cool. Let me see him in Hyrule Warriors. Oh yeah, I liked his design. I liked that in Hyrule Warriors and Tears of the Kingdom, they made him look like he's from the desert, right? Like that was the whole thing, is he's an evil man, but specifically he's from the desert. There's an existing race of people in the game, and he's like part of that group of people and comes from the desert, right? And I feel like some games you don't really get that vibe, but I feel like some of them they've been doing better with that, using more motifs of the area, a lot of gold on them, that kind of thing. I can run it at a smooth 60. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna play it. You're amazed someone has some idea about Zelda lore and never managed to keep anything straight between games. The thing is, there's very little that you need to keep straight between games. And even then, you don't need it. The only stuff that really matters is like, there's a sacred realm. It's not in every game. There's a sacred realm. There are things that are sacred. There's sacred energy or whatever. It's something related to light or heaven or something like that, kinda. There's like a main goddess. There's like the 3 goddesses that made the Triforce. There's some shit. It doesn't really matter. You just need to know that their power is consolidated and handed down in the form of the Triforce. And you don't even know, you don't need to know that it comes from them. You can play these games and they're like, it's a strong triangle. It gives you powers. And you can be like, okay, and that's all you need. You know? So it doesn't really matter. If you play anything that's prequel-y and you learn about demise, it gives you some nice context to what's going on in some of the other games. But if you don't know it, it doesn't matter. You're just like, oh, there's a bad guy. He's got bad energy in him. Ooh. Bad vibes. Right? So like you can learn about it by playing these games, and if you want to hold on to it and then play another game and be like, oh, that's referencing this, that's cool. But you don't need any of it. Timeline is a community idea? Well, no, they made an official timeline from the devs as well. But they kind of don't care about it. They were just like, here's what links to what, and here's what doesn't link to anything. Here are the things that definitely don't link to each other. And then disclaimer, remember that these are all like tales and stories, right? The Legend of Zelda is a literal legend kind of thing. And the idea is every time you play a game, it's a story, a retelling of that whole thing. And that's it. So it doesn't matter like what is actually real in what game or what's not. Because it's sort of like, well, and then another boy who wore green showed up and the thing happened. Here's its story. And then somewhere else, many years later or many years earlier, it's vague, it's foggy, who cares? They go, well, there was another time that there was like another boy in green and this thing happened. It was crazy. Here's what happened. Right? And they just do that over and over. And I honestly like it being vague like that. I hate when people try to like definitively say that every game needs to be in an order and needs to be related. They don't. And it doesn't even need to be timelines. It's just stories. Like, what if this happened? What if that happened? You know? Reincarnation is what I hear is key. Yeah, the only thing you need to know that like is really canon is what they tell you in the beginning of like every game. That they're like, there's a legend, the Triforce is strong, there are 3 pieces of it, and we're in an endless cycle where a hero is born and he gets the Courage Triforce piece. There's also a princess born at some point. She gets the wisdom piece. There's an evil man. He always tries to get the power piece because he's evil. They fight. Woo! Right? Like, it's the same thing as Castlevania. It's literally the same thing. There's a family that is cursed to always be fighting Dracula. Also, Dracula always comes back. So every time he comes back, the family also comes back and is like, I got the vampire killer, and then they beat him up. Right? It's the same shit. It's the same shit. It's the Nintendo classic, and I actually like it. It's the Nintendo special. They've got Metroid is kind of like this. It's a little more linear, but Samus goes through space and does shit, and then like Ridley keeps coming back. Like Ridley almost always comes back. Ridley shows up and is like, you thought you killed me, I'm metal now. You know, like, I'm gonna own space and you can't stop me. I'm gonna kill space. I'm gonna blow it up. There you go. And that's Ridley. Right? So that's like the Nintendo classic, man. Even Mario games are like that. They're like, Mario was alive at some point in his life, and then, oh no, a thing happened and he went there and fixed it. Also, Princess Peach was there too. Also, Bowser was there too. Right? It doesn't really matter like what order they happened in. It's just like, oh, another Mario story. So I feel like Zelda does the same thing. And it's, again, that's the Nintendo special. Right? They always do that. Also, your power-ups. Oh no, Samus fell and hit a bunch of rocks on the way down and has no power-ups again. Go get them. Ah, what's that? You can't contact your ship again. Oh no. It's just that every time. And I'm fine with that. I'm fine with the like the constant cycle lore and them not really caring to link every game to every other game. Even Pokemon, man. Even Pokemon, they've got some world building. They're like, oh, you're in a new region. Yay. There's some person in a region and this world has Pokemon in it and some are legendary and sometimes there are bad people. Go. Right? There you go. All right. So it's not really like an endless cycle thing so much as it is like, well, here's another part of the world. The world is so big. It has more Pokemon in it. Ooh. He said Ravenbeak was the best new villain to come out of Metroid. I know, he was so cool. I did like Metroid Dread a lot, though. I felt like that game was so good. And I did like that it actually was a direct continuation of Fusion. One of the rare moments where they take 2 Nintendo games and they're one after the other properly. Because Fusion might be the Metroid game I've replayed the most times individually. I think I've replayed Fusion the most. So then when Dread came out, I tried to not look up too much about it. And I didn't know when I opened the game very much about it being a continuation of Fusion. I thought it was still like dealing with it because of some of the stuff that was in the game. But when when you get in there and like immediately they're like talking about the virus and I'm like realizing that it is straight up a continuation, I was so excited, man. I kind of want to replay that game. That game was truly like horrifying, scary in a good way. I'm trying to get friends to play it that haven't played it. Because people always think, like, a lot of my friends keep saying things about Metroid, and they're like, oh, it's Metroidvania. Isn't Metroid just, like a Metroidvania in space? And I'm like, you don't understand. It's scary. It's the best version of cosmic horror. Like, it's the best. It's the best. Metroids are horrific beings. It's so good. And I'll try to explain to them that it's, like, the games are kind of supposed to be a little spooky. But it's not like a slow 3D walk through an area spooky game where it's all dark and shit. So I think they don't get it until they play it and then they're like, that shit was terrifying. when you're playing Dread and you get chased down by one of the Emmys for the first time. It's like the scariest experience of your life. Adrenaline going crazy. That shit is so fun, man. It's so good. It's so good. Dread put your heart in your ass. Yep. Yup. The Ice Monster and Prime spooked Baby Blazing so bad he almost quit. Oh, Prime was so good. I'm excited for Prime 4. I see some people hating on the fact that they have motorcycle sections so you can go through parts of the world. I don't care. I don't mind it so long as the base of the game gets to feel like the game. Dread made you legit start official speedruns. I watched... Watching Metroid Dread speedruns is kind of crazy too, seeing the tech that people use sometimes. It's really cool to watch. Really, really cool. But I want Metroid Dread right now. I want to play it. I want to replay it. But I won't yet. I want to just wait for Prime 4 and play Prime 4. Samus should turn into one of the wheels of the bike. Dude, it's Samus and then like evil Samus, and they're the two wheels. They're just orbs. You liked Fusion but disliked its linear nature in more recent playthroughs. Yeah, I don't care. I still like it. I like it as is. How do you feel about a lot of these old franchises coming back in their open world / zone? I think I don't really care so long as the game is good. I think a lot of them don't need to be that. I'm not too much of a stickler for games having to be the same, though, right? Like, I'm someone who's like, wow, I love Tears of the Kingdom. I still think them adding more linear aspects to it would have been great, but I wouldn't have said don't do open map. I would keep the map as is. I would let you go everywhere, except I would just gate it a little more. So I'm not really someone who minds them changing shit up. I think they should change shit up. And then occasionally go back to the blueprint and see, how that goes. I don't mind. I just really don't mind. I think bringing old IPs back is good, but the thing I worry about, we see this with movies right now, there's no room for new IPs sometimes. All of these IPs that turned out to be really great were new at some point, right? And I find like when they have a release schedule of all these huge Nintendo games that are from old IPs and it's filling up the year, when will we ever have new IPs that show up and like, get to shine? One of the only like IPs that was new that did well was Splatoon. Splatoon came out of nowhere. That IP is amazing. Those games are so fucking good. Genuinely so good. Because they decided to make a new IP. Yay. But I wish they would do that a little more. Doesn't have to be IPs, could be one-shots. Well, an IP is intellectual property, so one-shot is a new IP. Doesn't mean they have to make more games, though. Yeah, I agree. They want to risk it. They want a safe and profitable option. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care about the why. I'm just saying what I want. I don't give a shit. I want new IPs. I think that's like Astrobot. Great game, amazing game, wonderful. And yet people look at it and they're like, who did Sony think they are making an IP and shit? They think they're Nintendo. Well, people have to be able to make shit, You think they're scared off by ARMS? It was one game that didn't do well when it was like built off of the gimmick of the Switch. I don't think they're caring that much about that. I don't think they are. But from what I understand, I think some of their process in making games, depending on the studio, is that they make a style of game, they come up with a concept, and then they decide which IP to give it to. This is something that Nintendo sometimes does. They've talked about this a little bit. They don't always do this. But they'll make a game concept. And when it's built off of something mechanical, Donkey Kong Bonanza is a really good version of this, right? A really good example. they make a game and they're like, we want everything to be breakable though. We want a big breakable environment, go through stages, whatever. That could have been a 3D Mario game, and they're like, let's give it to Donkey Kong. And there was one interview where they talked about it a little bit, and they were like, we could have applied this concept to other things, and we decided on Donkey Kong. And I'm like, you know what? That's a really good approach, because you could come up with something and be like, this is a really good game. Do I want to give it to an old IP, or do I want to build a new thing around it, right? It gives a bit of room to do that. Sakurai said he did that when he made the Smash prototype. Yeah. For sure. Fits well in Donkey Kong, goes well, longer Smash. Right. That's the thing, right? You come up with the idea, and then you're like, well, I could give it to Mario, and this is a studio that's made a Mario game before, but it just fits for Donkey Kong, you know? And that was a great thing. Nintendo managed to get a patent on, and I quote, summoning of monsters. No. You know, guys, I actually went through, and I read a lot more on what's actually in the patent. It's actually not that bad. Not to protect the big company Nintendo, okay? I'm not... I don't like a lot of their decisions still. But I went through and read a lot more on it. It's literally not what people are saying it is. It's really not. It's really, really, really not. Like, people think that it's just on the summoning, but it's a lot more specific than that. It's in specific scenarios. It actually almost sounds more like Pikmin mechanics than Pokemon. But, like, you know, I don't know. It still was just, like, nowhere near what people said it was for either. I don't know, the amount of specificity in it, I'm like, this doesn't seem to me like anything that was written in a way where they're just trying to get rid of people doing summoning mechanics. That's the narrative that people spun off of what was there, but that's not, like, what it reads as to me. That's the thing that I'm just like, I don't know. There's a lot of misinfo. Now, I agree with you guys. I don't think we should be patenting game mechanics. I've already talked about this. Like, I just don't see the point there. That part alone, I'm just like, okay, why? But when I read through it, I don't think they're, like, trying to take anything that reminds you of Pokemon with summoning and to kill it. That's really not, like, what that reads to with me at all. They don't want you to rain on their hate parade. I know. I just look, we're trying to be better. If we're gonna shit on them just for patenting a game mechanic at all. Because that's fucking weird, right? But don't shit on them for things that are assumptions off of it that aren't actually true or real, right? Just make sure it's, like, true. Because the problem with the internet is when you argue with someone about things that aren't even true, that person or that company or whatever will never hear your arguments because they go, oh, well, they're wrong. And now you're arguing semantics and you're arguing about all this shit. You're trying to get misinfo straight instead of getting to the root of the problem, which is, why'd you patent a game mechanic at all? Right? Like, that's the core issue, right? And you end up straying from good arguments, and you end up, like, dying on these hills that are, like, not even exactly right. And then you never get listened to. Right? I always say people have this problem with Twitch too. When people complain about the platform, or other platforms too, about YouTube, about Kick, whatever, when they complain about these different platforms, they tend to hard focus on, like, really nuanced things or very situational things, and then they focus on that and they shit on a platform because of that, instead of pulling back their argument to, like, the baseline thing that is just inarguable, like, this thing is wrong or this thing is bad, right? And they just keep getting into the details and, like, mincing all their words, and it just, nothing gets done. Nothing gets done, you know? So for me, if I see people shitting on something for, like, the wrong reason, I'm not gonna say don't shit on it. I'm just gonna be like, can we please get the story straight, though? Like, because this is real and that's not. You know? Because people won't listen to you. The people on the other side of that, if your argument toward them is something that isn't correct, they're not gonna listen to anything you say, whether it's true or not, you know? So that's all I'm saying. So yeah, the patent thing, It's not what people say it is at all. Like the specifics of what it's about, a lot of people are horrifically misinformed or spreading misinformation when they're talking about it on Twitter and shit. It's terrible. Is the fact that they patented a game mechanic stupid? Yeah, that's stupid as fuck, and I hate that. But you just don't gotta get specific about it. You can just point at that every time and be like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this, right? Just press on that point. You don't need to like get into the specifics. You know? Yeah, just shit on it accurately. Exactly. Exactly. You said you were talking about a great patenting example. You said the the Nemesis system of the Lord of the Rings series. Yeah. Yeah, that's one of those things where I'm like, that should show why baseline you just shouldn't patent mechanics in that kind of way. Like that just shouldn't even be a thing. It shouldn't be a thing. Not at all. I get it if you want to patent more so like a design of something, right? If you're like, please don't make a plumber in overalls. Well, please don't make a guy who's like vaguely Italian, shaped like this. He's got a red hat, red shirt, and overalls. Please don't make a game with that as your protagonist. I can understand that because you could just reskin a game, right? If you make a character and he's like too close to Mario and they're like, yo, don't do that. You could just change him up a little bit and it wouldn't change your game that much. That's okay, right? But if you build a game and you have this whole gameplay system and it's really fun and really good, and then they're like, actually, you can't do this thing, this mechanic, then like, what do? You're just fucked, you know? Right? So, then it sucks. Like, you patent design like that's covering trade dress. You can in some ways when it's in games and then you use the design in a mechanic. You actually can. But yeah, no, it's usually trademarking and copyright law for sure. For sure. So we're never getting a good Digimon game. Digimon's fucking lame. Nobody likes Digimon. It's terrible. It's just Pokemon but worse. I've never watched Digimon. Actually, no, I saw half an episode and I didn't like it. I played a bit of one of the games, so I didn't really like it that much either. I have no ill will toward Digimon. I just love to shit on it because it's not Pokemon. I just don't like the designs. Actually, that's my big gripe with it. I don't think... I'm crying. I don't think there's anything like wrong with the games or the show. It's just like as good or as bad as anything else is. I just think the designs fucking suck. I don't like them. That's just me. I just visually, not my type. Not my type. They're super funny / cool. I don't think they're either. But that's just me. I also think there are plenty of Pokemon that look whack, you know? But overall, I like the art style of Pokemon more. I do. Hold on. I'm having some friends that wanted to hop on Rust. And I'm letting them know that I'm making a poop deli. I'm telling them, if you want to hop on at any point, I'm making a poop deli. There we go. Have you seen the one that's just made of guns? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%. You don't like when a Digimon goes from some dog creature to suddenly wearing jeans with a machine gun? Yeah. It's not for me, is all I'm saying. It's just, it's not my type. Not my type. It's so, some of the designs are just so cooked. So cooked. You think it fucks? I hope it doesn't, personally. I hope it does not. Oh, he said in elementary you had a Pokemon vs. Yu-Gi-Oh war. The thing is, like, I liked playing the card game. I never actually liked Yu-Gi-Oh, like the anime or any of the designs or any of the characters. I didn't like any of it. I was like, man, I wish this IP looked cool as I played the game that I liked playing. I just liked the card game. Everything else was kind of not for me. Not for me. It was not really for me at all. What about Beyblade? Never liked Beyblade. Never got into it. Nope. Nope. I thought they were cool. You don't like the Snark? You don't like Digimon? You don't like Yu-Gi-Oh? Well, I like the card game. I don't even know what the fuck Bakugan is. I literally, I've heard Bakugan several times. I cannot picture what anything from Bakugan looks like. Like, is it a show? I literally have no clue. Lucky, why are you on my desk? I know exactly why he's on. Get off my desk. You're gonna sit on my lap. It's the usual deal. You're gonna sit on my lap. There you go. Oh, so good. Ooh. He's trying to fit himself in here. Okay. Yup. Curl up. Oh, what a good boy. He's sitting on one leg, like my one thigh, and he's like loafing on it. And he's curling up as small as he can because he's too big. Oh, you're so small. You're like a little ball. Oh, look at you. He made like a round, he's like a sphere. And he's got his chin on the mouse pad. Okay, he's sitting like a ball, like all packed up on one leg, perched on it. And then he's got his chin resting on the mouse pad like a pillow. Oh, so cute. I would put the mic on him if he was purring. He's like getting there, but it's not loud. You're not gonna hear it. I can feel it though. He's very talented. Well, I have this chunk of chair that he could get on too. He's just like refusing. He just wants to be on me specifically, even though I have this whole area set out for him. Looky, look. This could be you. This could... he doesn't want to. He just wants to be on. I think he wants to be warm. I think he wants to be warm. All right, whatever, man. You can chill. There you go. Oh, my editor is asking a question. He's asking for a favor. I'll actually move for this. He says, can you ask chat to spam Frogwide, Pregaman, Goats Megalol, and other related emotes? He needs it for a video. Okay, spam it right now. Yeah. Perfect. Okay, good. Say, it has been done. Okay, perfect. Beautiful, thank you. I think he needed the B-roll of the chat doing that for some... Look, they do it for free. Oh, look, you're so cute. Oh, he's looking... You know, cats have that second eyelid layer. He's looking at me, but he's got, like, the second eyelid on because he's feeling so, like... He looks like he just ate Snart. Hey, you just ate the Snart, Lucky. Knuckles, you just ate the Snart. Oh, he feels so good. He's like... Bleh. Very nice. Okay. Let's hop on Rust. I want to continue... We could just keep talking, but I want to continue building my poop deli. I was on a little bit earlier, just kind of improving the walls and grinding some wood and things while I was trying to get through one of my meetings. And I saw Michi earlier. I think she might still be on. I saw Michi. She came to the poop deli briefly, which was nice. But it's not done yet. It's not done yet. Okay, let's go here. I'm gonna go here. Just like that. And maybe perhaps we make the snare in the poop deli. Yes. Nathaniel, my best friend Nathaniel on the server. I do be loving Nathaniel. Okay, let's do